Tragedy over the weekend after police say a 7-year-old girl drowned in a fitness club swimming pool.
Yeah, this happened yesterday about 40 week. Elise?
Yes, perfect nap weather today and many other chances this week, but we're not sleeping on 13 alert radar right now. We do have some showers and thunderstorms that will...
The city of Houston just received $50 million meant to reimburse Houstonians impacted by the winter storm 3 years ago.
The thing is, city administration is trying to take some of the chunk of change to build new affordable housing apartments. ABC 13's Daniela Hurtado was at the meeting this morning, and this was discussed there. Daniela.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Customers will have another chance to voice their concerns after Hurricane Beryl. The company is hosting another open house after getting some feedback this weekend. The nurse at your child's school may not be able to give them desperately needed medication. The new guidelines that are changing it all.
Your voice, your vote. Just 71 days until Election Day. The candidates wanting to win the White House will be crisscrossing the nation, visiting those battleground states in a push for support.
Going to be a busy few months. Well, here in Texas, if you haven't registered to vote for the November general election, you only have 42 days left. The deadline to register is October 7th. As ABC's M. Wim shows us, both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are honing in on their messages just 2 weeks before they'll meet on the debate stage on ABC 13. School's in full swing for most districts. There's a new update from school nurses that all caregivers really need to hear. New rules could have you going to pick up your student for something that could have been fixed last year. According
the founder of a messaging app used by nearly 1 billion people is behind bars this afternoon.
His arrest in France is now igniting a global debate over free speech. ABC's Allison Cossack has the details.
Now to talk a little bit more about our weather. We had a little bit of rain, but those are just reminders, those anniversaries that we are in the heart of hurricane season. Some of the biggest storms have hit us. And so while that heat was keeping all of the tropical weather away, we're getting a little bit of the rain to creep back in now.
We are, and the weather system that is bringing rain is making things quiet across the Gulf of Mexico right now. So
thank you. So after this week, Texas A&M students are banned from long-term camping for tickets to big events. It's part of a new rule that goes into effect after the Aggies opener against Notre Dame.
Yeah,
the National Women's Soccer League recently celebrated a groundbreaking deal for players' rights when it comes to contracts and health care benefits, and also abolishes the draft.
The collective bargaining agreement gives players, a lot more power, including where they want to play and which city they want to call home. Jessica O'Neill, the president of the Dash, joined our 24/7 stream this morning. Right now at 4:30 and only on 13, Manville police now facing a second lawsuit 5 months after a grand jury declined to indict 2 black men on sexual assault charges.
The civil rights lawsuit claims officers failed to conduct a thorough investigation as a result of racial bias. One of the men who was exonerated speaking only to 13's race and culture reporter Rosie Wynn, and she joins us now live from Manville. Rosie.
Erica and Elisa.
Some have already seen that welcoming rain today after a long stretch of pretty hot weather.
Yeah, meteorologist Elise Smith back with us. And Elise, do we have to worry about a messy commute this afternoon? I know we saw some in the heart of the city. It seemed to clear out in the middle of the day, but we're getting some spots to the north, aren't we?
We are. So it depends on where you live. Right now in the city of Houston, you might run into a passing downpour, but generally it is quieter than what we have.
Well, today, Texas, may be facing a crisis in caring for those with intellectual developmental disabilities, and a coalition of caregivers is asking the legislature for help.
Yeah, ABC 13's Tom Abrams first reported about this issue in July. The Houston Texans ended their preseason beating the LA Rams right here on ABC 13 this weekend. It was the last chance for reserve players to make an impression on the Texans front office.
Yeah, the team has until tomorrow afternoon to cut their roster from 90 players to 53. Gray Bailey joins us.
Today, we are hearing for the first time from the family of the man killed in a crash in the 2nd Ward Saturday, as well as the former deputy constable fired after allegedly slamming into him while driving the wrong way down the street.
ABC 13's Shannon Ryan joins us live. An American tourist is dead in Iceland after an ice cave collapsed. There was also a major landslide in Alaska, killing 1 person and hurting at least 3 others. It also damaged homes and roads and forced evacuations.
The governor of Alaska issuing a disaster declaration. This as much of the country deals with extreme heat and temperatures breaking records in the Midwest.
ABC's Melissa Adon has the details. All right, Melissa, thank you. All right, let's talk about weather back here at home.
We're not dealing with the heat. For once.
Yeah.
I was actually able to go for a walk this morning, and it wasn't that oppressive. The rain had come through.
You feel a difference when it's not 100 outside.
Absolutely. And we hit 100 degrees 7 times last week. This week, we shouldn't hit 100.
The company that owned a submersible that imploded on its way to the Titanic is expected to respond to a civil lawsuit. The family of a French explorer who was on board is seeking millions of dollars worth of damages for his death. The lawsuit, which is being handled by Houston's own Tony Busby, is looking for $50 million, claiming OceanGate knew its sub was not going to make it down to the wreckage.
Again, no one hurt. All right, so an aerial hoop artist was injured during a Cirque du Soleil performance in Portland over the weekend.
Yeah, scary stuff. You know, they train hard, but you can never prepare for something that just goes suddenly wrong in a live performance. All right, we've got more news coming up for you next on Live at 5.
For that, we are checking in with...
Hey, guys. Happy Monday to you. Coming up next here on Eyewitness News at 6:30, we are following several developing stories.
Starting with a park ranger facing more charges after being accused of robbing...
Welcome to the news at 6:30. I'm Erica Simon.
And I'm Elisa Rivas. We want to get right to our weather forecast because we are in for a rainy week.
Defense attorney caught red-handed, according to authorities, delivering drug-soaked papers to one of his clients earlier this month. Well, he is now currently in the Harris County Jail.
The sheriff's office has been clear that they are cracking down on this ongoing problem, arresting others for doing the same thing in the past year, including a jailer and another defense attorney. Reporter Micah Hatfield shows us how investigators were able to get to the bottom of this. Now to the latest on a tragic story. Houston police are investigating an unintentional drowning involving a child at a fitness club.
This happened.
Brenna Swindell, the daughter of former Texas Longhorn and Houston Astros pitcher Greg Swindell, is missing. Now to a follow-up on a story that we first brought you in July. A coalition of caregivers that calls itself Time to Care is pushing lawmakers in Austin to help stem what they are calling a health care crisis.
ABC 13's Tom Abrams joins us with an update. 3 years after the winter freeze of 2021, financial relief is finally here for thousands of families whose homes were impacted. Except now the city of Houston wants to take almost half of the money and build new affordable housing. ABC 13's Daniela Hurtado explains what's next.
So we are in the thick of our August heat, right? Heading towards September. Americans are at risk from the deadly effects of heat, more so than ever before.
Certainly feels like it, right? A new study out today shows a 117% spike in heat deaths from 1999 to 2023.
The preseason is over, and the Texans have some big decisions to make by tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, Greg Bailey joins us with one player who's been on the practice squad but is looking to make...
And breaking news as we come on the air tonight, Rice University there, a student is dead after an apparent murder-suicide.
Police say it happened on campus this afternoon, so we want to get you live right now to ABC 13's Jessica Willey. She just got an update from investigators on who the victim is and how she may have died. Jess? Yeah, right. We're seeing increased chances for rain the rest of the week.
Okay, let's get over to Chief Forecaster David Tillman with a better look.
David, now to a 13 alert traffic warning for drivers who use a busy section of the Grand Parkway in the Katy area. Anchor Elisa Rivas is here now. Tonight, HPD is urging any possible victims of a Houston urban park ranger to come forward. He is facing new charges, including sexual assault. A 15-year-old now charged in a shooting that left several people hurt over a social media beef.
And state lawmakers could look at raising pay for Texans who care for people with special needs. These are the up-to-the-minute facts on the day's big stories. Special
counsel Jack Smith is now urging an appeals court to reinstate the classified documents case against former President Donald Trump.
Forget those images. So many homes had feet and feet of water. Yeah. This is all from some of the video right there, David.
Up to the roof in many cases. I'll never forget the 3 feeder bands that were sitting over Harris County at one time. Allison had 1. This one was 3, and each one of them had rainfall rates of 4 to 6 inches an hour, and it just did it all night long. It was just an incredible storm. Nothing like that in our immediate future. But
now talk a little Stros.
Toughest stretch in the schedule so far this season.
Good for it. Thanks, Greg.
Another look at your forecast is up next. All right, Monday's in the books, David. For the rest of the week, we're looking for some healthy rain on the lawns.
The weather pattern has changed. You probably had doubts that it would.
We deserved it. We endured all those 100-degree days. So.
With no rain.
All right, David, thanks a lot. Jimmy Kimmel Live's up next.
Thanks for hanging with us.